Hello, this is Mike at TradeWinds RV Center here to congratulate you on the purchase of your Jayco North Point 377 RLBH fifth wheel. You guys have picked a beautiful unit here. I'm here to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things so you get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a couple things to take into consideration when parking. First off, on your campsite, you've got a slide that also has an awning to come out. So run that awning out, see how much room you're going to need. Get a good measurement before you get a campsite so you can park accordingly, so you can get that awning as well as this awning out. Now, of course, on your off camp side, you have the slides. Leave plenty of room for them to come in and out unimpeded, preferably nothing hanging over top of them, just less you have to clean off. Once you leave plenty of room for them, I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your water connection is going to be here at the front docking station on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Then your power is going to plug in all the way back here on the rear corner. Same thing, driver's side of your tow vehicle or off camp side of the unit. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook your hitch, part of that is using this auto level system. Now there are directions right here. I'm going to show you quickly how to use this. When you arrive, press both your up and down button at the same time. Hold it for a couple seconds. That's going to bring that green light on. You're going to lift up, unhook your hitch of course, and then lift that up out of the way. Get your tow vehicle out of the way. Once your tow vehicle's out of the way, you're just going to touch auto level. Auto level is going to run down all your auto leveling systems, which are already down. It's going to level your unit. It'll bring up the front, back several different times. Once it's done, this green light is going to start flashing. Once that starts flashing, you know your unit is level and stable, and we can hook up your power and water. We'll do your power first. Big long 50 amp service, 50 amp cord there, plugs in this back corner. Now the way these new ones go on is, you got this clamp down, they go into the left, twist it to the right, and then put on your black washer. That's going to hold that on there for you. See how it twists over? At the end of that 50 amp service, you need to plug into a campsite that has a 30. There's a 50 to 30 amp plug, and if you need to plug into a 110, there's a 15 or 30 amp to 15 amp that you can plug into a 110. Just remember to use appliances accordingly. You don't want to pop a bunch of breakers just because you're running off 110. ACs, etc. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. In your docking station, you have a night light that you can set to on, or as it is now, you saw it set to motion. I'll unhook this spray port here and show you how this works. Now, at the campsites, you are doing city water connection. They made it real easy. 4 different setups, 4 different handles to turn. So at the campsite, city water, you're going to want white down, green to the left, red up, blue to the left. We're all set up for city water. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in the unit. Always use this when putting fluid in here. Hook that up, hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Let's find your hot water heater. Your hot water heater is right here. The metal panel door that goes on the front of this. All we're doing at this point, make sure our drain plug's back in. Throw some plumber's tape around there, not putty. Putty tends to gum up on these. Throw some plumber's tape on there, get that in there nice and tight. That is a 11/16 or 1 1/16 socket here. Get that in there nice and tight, then you can turn that hose on. Now after that hose has been on for a little while, you can go inside and deploy all of our slides because our unit's all level and stable. What you need to do is get to access to all of your water taps. Open up all of your water taps, get a nice steady flow of water through them, get all the air out of the lines, then shut them off, and then you can turn on this hot water heater indoors. I'll show you how to do that when we go inside. If your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, come out here and check these to see if they're bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in. They are a reset. This is your pressure release valve. Well, let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping somewhere. Well, in that case, we're going to look at dry camping and power fill. We're going to start with the power fill. We're going to fill up our freshwater tank. White down, green to the left, red up. Now we turn our blue down. We're going to our blue down. Shut this hose off here. Going to our blue down. We're all set to fill our tank. Once our tank is full, the way to tell is go inside, hold your button down on your freshwater tank. Let's get this back to where it was. Hold the button down on your freshwater tank and that'll tell you when this is full. So I wanted to come inside to your panel real quick. Go to home, go to tanks. You can watch the freshwater fill. Once that's full, shut that hose off, put the cap back on, and then when you want to utilize your fresh water, that's when you turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when you're hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. All right, let's head on back around to the unit. Show you a couple other ways to set this up. So we're clear on this. You'll fill your tank. Once your tank is full, you'll switch these to dry camping. White down, green up, red up, blue to the left, just like that. Then you'll turn on your water pump when you want to use that water. So you can also turn the water pump on out here, but just remember, wherever you turn on the water pump, here or the control panel, make sure you shut it off at the same spot. So there's our dry camping setup, power tank filled to dry camp. There's our city water. When you want to winterize it, you'll get into your access panels and bypass your water heaters into winterize. And here's how you sanitize. That's just to siphon soap into the unit and wash the lines out. Also, we're all set up with power and water. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit, starting here in this control panel. Again, that's your light for your water heater, or excuse me, your water pump. Here's your auto leveling system. That is where you prep for solar. You can plug in a solar panel right there. Don't trickle charge your batteries. Spray port that spray hose will hook up to. You can spray the outside of the unit off. Place to turn on your water pump, all your settings, cable, satellite, and auxiliary hookups. Down here's your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when leaving the campsite and dumping your black and gray tanks. Here's your water hookup. Here's your water filter, which also comes with a filter exchange handle to take that off there, and a convenient area to run your things down, your hoses down through. Over here in your passive storage area, I want to show you, you've got this tank here. You fill up this water bottle, and then you can utilize fresh water from this bottle in your island inside. I'll show you that when we get inside. If you don't trust the drinking water at different places, or if you're dry camping, it's a great source of fresh water. Flue for your furnace. Two things on that: make sure it's never blocked, and if you are running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. Down here is where you will dump our tanks. Easier access once our slides are closed. It's a gray water holding tank. This is access to the back of your fridge. It's a vent for your microwave. You have low point drain back here. Again, your power. It's just a little storage box. Not much there, but they're utilizing every inch they can for some storage. This is your ladder. Utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year. Check the seams of your roof. Caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You also prep for a Furrion backup camera device that attaches to this device up here. And then you have a device that sits on the dash of your tow vehicle. Electronically communicates this, giving you a backup camera for the unit. Accessory hitch. All set for a TV out here. You can plug in a cable in 110. One thing on your wiper slides, slide wipers, to add to the longevity of these, you want them to stay pliable. They do have a liquid that you can spray on these. It helps them stay pliable, keeps them dry rotting over the years. There's spare tire manual crank, which if the slides open, you'll get in here and get it down, but there's your spare tire. There's a quick connect LP back here, as well as a sewage hose holder that you can put your sewage hose in from either end. Again, your awning on your slide. Another low point drain on this side. Again, all accessible once our slides are in. Outdoor speakers. That blue spray port hose on the other side. You can bring that over here to spray this side of the unit off. Your outdoor kitchen, you have a certificate inside your package indoors, immediately on top for your Blackstone griddle that will go here. There's your connection for that with some lighting. And there's your quick connect LP. The other side of your pass-through storage, you can vacuum this out by turning your hooking your vacuum hose up here, turning that on. Spare tire manual crank. Also prep for TV up here. Plug your cable satellite in 110, set a TV out here. Propane in here. Auto leveling fluid in the front, your auto leveling system fluid in the back. All prepped for a generator. Your batteries. Check your battery posts now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose over time. Get in there and tighten everything up. You got nice straps, hold them in there. Brings us back around to the off-camp side with your propane up here. This is your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. This is your propane awning regulator. Simply lefty-loosey to open, point it toward the tank you wish to be using, or point it in the middle for an automatic switchover. That about covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. Alright, so coming up your steps, first thing I like to point out in every unit is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of emergency. Coming in immediately all the way up top, got a couple doors here. One storage, the other is your panel. These are to pair devices, and after transporting, press to hold that to enable all this to work. Just touch your panel here. Let's go to home. Try to hold this the best I can so you can read what I'm showing you here. So you can control your climate here, your lights, your motors, which would be your leveling, or scroll it up for your slides and awnings. Go back. Your tanks, you can check your tanks, and here's where you can see what power you're running off. So you can also go individually down these and do the same thing. So your tanks here, here's where you can turn on your water pump. Here's where you can turn on your water heater if hooked up to electric. Your water heater if hooked up to gas. It does make a difference. Here you can see the levels of your tanks. Again, you can do your auto leveling from here, or scroll this up and run your slides in and out. We'll run them in when we're done here. Your awnings, we'll run them in and out. We'll start with your first one and run this out because I want to show you something on these. Keep your finger on the button. So these awnings will run themselves out. You only want to run them out far enough for a flap to fall down to 90 degrees, and you'll be able to see your brown bar. These will run themselves out past that and run themselves up backwards, so keep an eye on them when you run them out. There's your flap. As far as you want to go with them. Just hit retract to bring that back in. You have pitch control too. If it's raining, you can pull down on one end of these, and that'll tilt your awning to the opposite direction, depending on where your campsite is, or your picnic table's at. You don't have to have that exactly straight. It does straighten itself back out. And we've got the awning in. Go ahead and run the other one out real quick for you just to see it. See that one working? Same thing on that one. Just run it out till that flap falls down. We'll run that back in. Alright, again, we can do our slides here in a few. Next is our temperature. Turn on our AC, turn it on, turn the AC on cool, and you hear the AC running. And shut the AC off. Actually, just hit off over here. It shuts right off. Turn it on again. This time we'll pick heat. Heat just kicked on. You can raise or lower your temperature here. Shut the heat off. Just shut it off here. And the heat fan takes a few more moments to cycle through than the AC does, so it shuts off a little bit slower. Here you can control all your lighting. Kitchen, security, awning, step, kitchen. You can shut it all off here. Or you can go back to your home page and turn everything on. Go down here, you can check your tire pressure, see how your propane setting and your settings for what power you're running off. So that takes you through that. BM Pro, there's also a BM Pro app. You can put the BM Pro app on your phone, turn on and off your lights, run your awnings in and out, run your slides in and out, all from your phone. There's the app. Storage closet. Down below that is an access panel to your breaker box and fuses. Looks like got a ton of 15s in there, 25, a couple more 25s. I highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. I'm going to continue into the living room. Talk right here about your island real quick. 110 above that water tank that I said was downstairs in your storage, this is where you turn that on and you will access that water through here, so you'll know you'll always have fresh water to drink. Down below that is your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Reason I mention that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out boondocking, dry camping somewhere and you have nothing plugged in charging your battery, go ahead and use your battery disconnect if you're going to be gone for the whole day to keep this from running your battery down. Come over here to your big Whirlpool fridge. There's where your water filter is. All of your settings are on the outside with your ice maker, etc. Self-explanatory microwave does have high and low exhaust and a light. Cooktop up here, there's an oven light and panel lights. Turn this to light, push it in, there's your spark. So quickly them light up. You'll see a few of these through the unit. Just different ways that you can, say if you want to turn on and off your water pump. You're here in the kitchen, instead of walking over there, you can turn on your water pump here if you're using potable water. These are lighting. You can turn on and off, pendant lightings, ceiling light. Turn your AC on if you're getting hot here at the stove. So a few of those throughout the unit, kind of neat. You do have a pull-out garbage here. Storage, big sink with a dryer rack. Coming in here to your television. Let's find out which remote works here. Alright, setting up the remotes for your TVs right now. I'll go ahead and go down to your sound system here. Turn that on. JBL system's really nice. Let's see if we can scan and pick up a channel. 4.5, 103.9. Nothing close. USB, auxiliary 2, optical, HDMI, ARC, Bluetooth, AM and FM. There's different sets, different zones. You can play here, up top, or outdoors. 3 zones. Nice sound system. Picks up better outdoors. Fireplace, not just for looks anymore. I can go through and show you all the pretty colors, but the biggest thing, folks, is the heat. If it's chilly in the morning or evening, instead of using up your gas, if you're at a campsite, crank up the heat on this thing and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. Storage on both sides of your sofa here. I'm going to show you quickly how to turn your sofa into a bed. Alright, I found the best leverage is stand in the middle. Just going to have 3 Velcro cushions to pull off. Lift up in the center. Lift these folded legs out. Pull the whole thing towards you. Lay the back part down. Just that quickly, you have a very comfortable sleeping quarters. Reverse the process. Make sure you put the back up first. If you try to lift this up, it's going to damage the back. Back up first. Stand in the middle to fold your legs in. Gives you good leverage. Just jackknife that down. Return your cushions. Just that quickly, you're back to a sofa. Power recliners here. Here's a light for underneath. Accent light. Open. Close. Heat, massage, and USB. So this one, opening and closing. Same thing over here, an accent light. Got a power tower up here. You can tuck that down and then just lift that up when you want to utilize it. You have storage underneath here. You can pull this extension out. Max air vent. If we touch fan on, it's going to open up your vent and turn your fan on. Then you can change the fan for 4 different speeds, or simply hit off. It's going to close and shut off. You'll see a few of these through the unit. These are temperature readers. They help the thermostat in the unit work better. This is for your fan. Coming into your bunk room for travel. Make sure that you have these doors bungeed open. Another television in here. Another RV technology sound system. Again, Bluetooth, AM, FM, DVD, CD player, all kinds of modes. You can run TV audio through it. Touch it for mute. Dual zoned. Same thing with this. Remove the cushions, stand in the middle, open it up. This becomes a nice full-size bed. This piece here, pull that down, and you have a nice twin bed for the top here. Push that up, make sure that locks in there good. Actually, when leaving for travel, I would prefer that you travel with it down. You don't have a stress on this. When you leave, make sure all your doors and drawers are closed in here. Coming up the hallway, you have a vacuum system. Vacuum everything down there. Lift that up and sweep it in. Your inverter control. That's where you turn on your inverter if you're dry camping. You're set for a TV up here. There's a backer in the wall. Cable in 110 for this whole bunk area. It does have its own hand crank open vent. Steps, lift them up and fold them out. Take it in there better. Coming into your bathroom, you do have lots of lighting and a fan. Turn on or off, hand crank that open. 4 different speeds that you can control from there. You have some plumbing maintained. Most of this PEX plumbing, there's an access door. Get in there, check that now and then. In your shower, make sure when you travel that you snap this shower open. Come back in your bedroom. You know that you can open this here and have all this hidden storage. Another TV back here. You are all prepped for a washer and dryer back here in your huge closet. Again, another door to make sure that you have snapped closed. We'll have that one over there, that one there, and pull this strap through here. Do you want to keep this snapped open for travel, or closed for travel? Don't want to bounce around. Several more of those lighting things. This one you can be in bed at night and go ahead and shut off all the exterior, all the interior lighting. Great option. Same thing here. Another slide control. You can bring this bedroom slide in from here. And another temperature reader. And that about covers everything on the inside. We got some more storage here. These are some folding tables that match your dining tables, as well as your vacuum system, your brand new water filter. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. So the first thing I like doing is coming up here and closing, shutting off all my interior lights. Let me show you how. Did want to show you real quick. We got all your remotes programmed. You can have one for your TV in the living room, one for the fireplace, one for the sound system. One for your TV in here. Did forget to mention these holes are for these poles. Simply set them in there, one on each side, and then set that tabletop on top of it. TV, and the one for your sound system. And lastly, you got your one up in your bedroom. And there's that one. All right, let's close it up. So what I like to do when closing it up, go on here to your main, go back to home, and hit off on your lights. That's going to show you any individual lighting we may have left on. Bathroom's on its own switch, as well as a couple of these accent lights. Make sure all of them are off. Head back to your control panel. Touch main lights, or actually go over to your lights and just turn on your living room lights. At this point, I'm going to say doors and drawers. Make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede your slide from coming in. All cabinets are turned back. Again, everything closed in here. Make sure this bedroom door is snapped open. Your bunk is down. Bed up, of course. Secure all doors up that way. Come to your control panel to motors. Scroll up. And we're going to hit slide 1, retract. Now slide 1 is going to be your bedroom slide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that, bring that in a little bit, and then show you that you can also, if you want to watch it come in, turn on our bedroom lights, bedroom ceiling lights. You can retract this slide from in here as well by hitting retract in the corner. Make sure the drawers on your dresser are closed. See the importance of having doors and drawers closed there. So it slides all the way in. Shut off your bedroom ceiling light. Come back down to your control panel. And we'll bring in slide number 2, retract. That is going to be your bunk room. We made sure everything was secure in there. All doors and drawers were closed. I'm going to stay here and bring that in and hear it coming in. As I'm bringing this in, these buttons up top, the one to the right, after you transport, press and release that button. That will allow your panel to turn on down here. There's 2 slides in. Bring number 3 in. Our kitchen slide here. The bottom always starts to come in first because that's where the slide mechanism is located on these. And lastly, our living room slide. So the bottom kicks and then the top catches up with it. Seals come in. Once our last slide's in, go back to lighting, our tanks back to lighting, shut off our living room lights, and exit the unit. Now the biggest thing on these steps, you want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open, otherwise this could catch on it. Lift this up, tuck it in, lock and deadbolt your exterior door, lift and turn this handle, your door is ready for travel. At this point, we're going to unhook our power, our water, and our cable. And come over to your auto leveling system. We're going to crank that back on. And then you're just going to hit retract all. That's going to bring up all of your auto leveling system. That will leave your front jacks up. Then you can bring the fronts up, hook up your hitch, and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be in front of your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle or your off camp side. You got a big 10-foot hose, comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up here. Come inside here and pull this black handle. Now once it sounds like that black handle is no longer draining, leave that handle open. You want to go inside and check your panel to make sure it's empty as well. Leave that handle open, again with your water pressure regulator. Hook up the hose at the dump station to this tank flush. Let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to wash all the nastiness out of your black tank. Close that up, close your black handle, pull your first gray handle. After that one's empty, close that handle. Lastly, you can come down to this last galley tank handle right here, gray water holding. Again, that's going to be cleaner waters, sinks and showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. Store that away in a convenient sanitary spot. Then you're going to go around and dump your low point drains. I'll show you where those are located. You can see them here, low point drain. But you're going to get inside this access panel in order to open them up and dump that. Just a couple square head screws here. Same thing on your hot water bypass, that'll be inside there as well. When you winterize the unit. And lastly, we're going to come, after our water is good and drained out, to our hot water heater. We're going to lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump the remainder of the hot water out of there. Then you can remove this drain plug. Make sure this is secure going down the road. Hook up your hitch and head on home. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this North Point for many years to come. Happy camping.